Okay, this is the superior oblique muscle. Is innervated by which nerve? Trochlear nerve. Fourth cranial nerve, trochlear nerve. This muscle turns eyeball inferolaterally. And then this muscle, unfortunately, we can't see rest of it, is the superior rectus muscle. Turns, yes, innervated by oculomotor, turns eyeball up and in, superomedially. Okay? And then there is another muscle which is even not shown at all here. That is the levator palpebrae superior muscle that elevates the upper eyelid, innervated by the oculomotor nerve. And then look at this muscle is the lateral rectus. You can see its entire part, but you see this is the lateral rectus. Turns eyeball laterally. It abducts the eyeball. Innervated by abducent nerve. Look at this one. This is the medial rectus muscle. Medial rectus muscle innervated by 3 oculomotor nerve. This adducts the eyeball. Internally rotates the eyeball. And then look at this one here. This is the inferior rectus muscle. This is the inferior rectus, which turns eyeball inferomedially, right? In and down, yes. And then look at this muscle here, right here, this one, or the muscle right here, this one. This is the inferior oblique muscle. This inferior oblique muscle turns eyeball up and out, superolaterally. Okay. Now we have covered the extraocular eye muscles, their name, their function, their innervation. Okay? Now let's look at the layers of the eyeball. Now, from outside the inside, the eyeball has 3 layers. The layer you see here is the fibrous layer or the outer layer. If we divide the outer layer in 6 pieces, 5 out of 6 pieces is formed by the sclera. What you see here is the sclera. And anterior 1/6 of the fibrous layer is formed by the cornea. Unfortunately, the cornea is missing here. But on yes, you have it there. But I have the cornea here. This is the cornea. Cornea covers the iris and the pupil. So, the sclera protects the eyeball, also serves as attachment sites for the insertion of the extraocular muscles, as you see on this model. Under the sclera, from posterior to the anterior, under the fibrous layer or outer layer, we have vascular layer, also known as the middle layer. Middle layer has 3 parts. from posterior to the anterior, these parts are choroidea, and then the look at this is just this part is the right. This part is the ciliary body, but you need to look at from the inside. Look at again. So from here to here, this is the till here is the choroidea. You see, choroidea. Here is the ciliary body. You see that?
Yes.
Ciliary body. And this is the iris. Look at iris is this one here. It is the iris. Here is the iris. So from posterior to the anterior, you have the choroidea, then you have the ciliary body, and the iris. In the center of the iris, you have a hole. That is the pupil. That is the pupil. Now, look at this one here. These are the ciliary processes. Ciliary, can you see the ciliary processes? These are ciliary processes. How about this one? This is the ciliary muscle. Ciliary muscle. Ciliary processes. These are the ciliary processes. Look at these are the ciliary processes. Ciliary processes. And this is the anterior chamber. It is the anterior chamber. Right here is the posterior chamber. Here is the posterior chamber. Of course, you have lens here, but lens is not present here. Let me have it. Okay, thank you. Look at this one. So, outer fibrous layer is removed, so you don't have the outer fibrous layer here. But if you put this here, so this is the outer fibrous layer. Outer fibrous layer. Let me have it. Thank you. Let's put it this way here. Okay. Right here, again, this is better to study. Look at 5 out of 6 the fibrous layer formed by the sclera. This is the sclera. All this one is the sclera. Anteriorly, you have the cornea. This is the cornea. Let's lift this up. And here, look at between the cornea and the iris, we have the anterior chamber. This is the anterior chamber. Now, this is the middle layer or vascular layer, which has 3 parts from posterior to the anterior. All of this is choroidea. This is the choroid. Choroid this is. This one here is, this white part is the ciliary body. This white part is the ciliary body. We're going to look at the ciliary body from inside. But from the outside is the ciliary body. And this is what? Iris. Iris. Iris contains 2 muscles, right? 2 circular muscles. That's why they are called sphincter. Circularly running muscle is called sphincter. Okay? So, the hole in the center is the pupil. The hole in the center of the iris is the pupil. In the iris, there are 2 muscles. One is on the side of the pupil, closer to the pupil. This muscle is what muscle this is?
Constrictor. Dilate.
Sphincter pupillae muscle.
Okay.
sphincter pupillae muscle, which constricts the pupil, narrows the pupil, called meiosis. This muscle innervated by the parasympathetic nerves coming from the oculomotor nerve. Actually, this nerve is the short ciliary nerves, right? Short ciliary nerve. And there is another muscle here which is present close to ciliary body. That is what? Dilator pupillae muscle. Dilator pupillae muscle is innervated by the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nerves innervating the dilator pupillary muscle synapse where? Superior cervical ganglion. Where are the cell bodies of the preganglionic sympathetics innervating the muscle here? Dilator pupillae muscle. Lateral horn of the spinal cord T1, T2 segments. Okay? Good. And then I will take this out like this, okay? Look at this one here. Again, this is what? Choroid. Till here, look at till here, I mean this one is the ciliary body. Ciliary body. And this is the iris. Look at here, from inside, it is the iris. This is the iris. Inside the ciliary body, we have a ciliary muscle and the ciliary processes. Here you have the ciliary muscle, and right here you have the ciliary processes. Ciliary processes produce the what it produces aqueous humor. Aqueous humor. So aqueous humor is secreted into. Let me see. Let me come here again. So here we have the anterior chamber between the cornea anteriorly and the lens and iris posteriorly. That is the anterior chamber. Look at here. Between the iris and lens and ciliary processes, we have the, right here we have the posterior chamber. This is the posterior chamber, right here, posterior chamber. So, aqueous humor is produced and secreted into posterior chamber by the ciliary processes. And then aqueous humor travels from posterior chamber to the anterior chamber through the pupil. And then it's absorbed by the Schlemm's canal. Schlemm's canal. Okay? Good. This is the lens. Here is the lens. Here is the vitreous body. Inside the vitreous body, we have the vitreous humor. Vitreous humor is a jelly-like stuff. Also involves in reflection of the light. Okay, let's continue. So we have covered the middle layer, vascular layer. Then we have the inner layer, or the nervous layer. We call it retina. Look at this one here. This looks better to use. Can you see this one here? Here is the retina actually. This is the retina. Right there is the oro serrata. You see how it looks like a soul. right? This is the, or here is the oroserrata. Anterior to the oroserrata, you do not have photoreceptors in the inner layer. Anterior to the oroserrata, you have only pigmented layer covering posterior part of the ciliary body called iridial part. Ciliary part, right? And then covering the posterior surface of the iris is called iridial part. Ciliary part and the iridial part of the pigmented layer. And then look at here, right here you see the central retinal artery and vein. Central retinal artery and vein. And here you have what? Macula lutea. In the center of the macula lutea, you have the fovea centralis. So, macula lutea is found 3 millimeters lateral to optic disc. Right here is the optic disc. Optic disc. So, is this right or left?
Right.
This is right. Very good. This is the right one. This is the right one. And then, so you can identify the macula lutea and the fovea centralis in it. Right there you have the optic disc, and optic disc is the area of the eyeball where the optic nerve exits from the eyeball, and the area of the sclera perforated by the fibers of the optic nerve is called area cribrosa. Cribrosa means area with tiny holes, tiny openings, okay? Tiny openings. But in the center of the lamina cribrosa, there is a larger hole. It is for what? It is for central retinal artery and vein. Okay? Of course, the artery and vein should be larger than an optic nerve fiber. So these are what we have to show you here. Okay? I can give you some more time to review the muscles and layers of the eyeball by yourself on the models, and then we can go up.
Can we just go up now?
Just go up.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Ya ben de bilmiyorum arkadaşlar.
But you don't want to look at the models?
Hocam,
We will
we
watch
will
the
be
video.
so much more comfortable if we finish the lectures.
Okay.